Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.Eliances.com. Now, back to our super host, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
What an incredible day it has been already. This is Producer Glue, today your host of the Eliances Heroes radio show. We just interviewed Nathan Hirsch, co-founder and CEO of FreeUp.com. That's FREEEUP.com. And later on, we're going to be talking with Dave Grimm, Senior VP of Compliance and Infrastructure at Direct Source Wealth. That's directsourcewealth.com/hero, or reach out to them at 877-756-8323. But now we have with us next, well, he could be anyone, but he's a master of impressions. He's called hilarious by President Barack Obama. Dan Nainan. You can reach him at DanielNainan.com. That's Daniel, Nainan.com. Dan, I have a confession. In a way, this is actually your first interview with us, even though we're doing a deep dive with you today, because when you were on the last time, you weren't quite yourself, were you?
That's right. I was Bill Clinton, or a fake Bill Clinton, a fake news Bill Clinton.
And that's the secret of who you were when you were last on. Can you give us a sample of your Bill Clinton?
No. Wait a minute now. I think that I think I was actually somebody else who is President Donald Trump, who is absolutely fantastic. Believe me, I'm absolutely fantastic. Because there are more people here in this studio than at any other interview you've ever had, because I'm fantastic, believe me. Oh, by the way, my website is comediandan.com. No one can spend my name. Yeah,
okay.
Comediandan.com is a lot easier. Yeah.
Comediandan.com it is then. Okay. Dan, you weren't always a comedian. You actually started your career at Intel. How or why did you go from tech and software engineering to comedy? How'd that happen?
I'll tell you. So my job was to travel and do technical demonstrations on stage with the senior executives of Intel, the CEO, chairman, co-founder Andy Grove, etc. And, being Indian and Japanese, designing the technical demonstrations was easy. In fact, I say that when I was first interviewing at Intel for the job, they said, "You're Indian and Japanese, you don't even have to interview." But the tough part was speaking on stage in front of thousands of people, and I was just terrified with stage fright. And I thought I have to do something to get over the fear. Took a comedy class. Third show ever, I was in front of 2,500 Intel employees, and a lot of them thought that I was a professional comedian pretending to be an Intel employee instead of the other way around. And that's when I thought maybe I could do this for a living one day.
That's incredible. And you actually have toured with Russell Peters, Robert Schimmel, many other comedians, and you have helped design and produce shows, including at the famed Apollo Theater in New York City. What is the secret to making it in comedy?
They said that. Well, I'm supposed to say the world famous Apollo Theater. That's how
the world. Okay, the
right?
world
You're
famous Apollo
that,
Theater.
Right,
okay,
right.
I just called
you
it.
You have to
famed.
say it that right.
Okay.
The secret to making comedy. Well, I think it's my teacher says get good, right? Get good, get funny, and just keep writing and performing as much as you can. It's like anything else. Like, say, you're a fantastic radio host, probably because you've done it thousands of times.
Yes,
right? So
right.
it's just like anything else. If you do 1,000 comedy shows, you'll be better than someone who's done it, 100 times.
Did you have a particular mentor?
I first took my first class with Judy Carter, who is an amazing teacher and author who is so successful. And I remember when I first took my class, she goes, "You can go to a comedy club and maybe they'll give you a free water. And at the comedy clubs, even the water is watered down, right? And you'll maybe make $20. Or," she says, "you can fly first class and make $20,000 and have a hotel suite and do corporate events." And I thought, this is impossible, but she was right. She was absolutely right. It's true. You can.
Awesome. And you are listening to the Eliances Hero Show with Producer Glue, your host today. Go to Eliances.com, where you can find our interviews like the one we did with the former CEO of Apple and Pepsi Company. Make sure you go to Eliances.com and nominate your hero for us. And also keep in mind, Eliances is going national. So make sure you keep an eye out on that for Eliances coming to your local city. And we're talking with Dan Nainan. His website is comediandan.com. Is that what right? We're using that one?
To
Okay,
spell, yeah.
Great, perfect. comediandan.com. So, Dan, you have been on Last Comic Standing. Of course, Russell Peters was a comedian and judge on that show. You've been in the Apple Get a Mac commercial. Feature films like, all right, this is one of my favorites, which I know a lot of the critics did not like it, The Last Airbender, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and The Hoax with Richard Gere, which I actually just heard today that The Last Airbender is being remade by Netflix. Are you going to be in that one?
Oh, I don't know. It was an amazing experience. I shot for 16 days there, just a very minor part, but Knight is the nicest guy you could imagine. I've also recently been on Family Guy and Billions. And people ask me, "Oh, what was your, what character did you voice on Family Guy?" I was Angry Indian Man #1. It's the pay is amazing. I recently got a check, believe it or not, a royalty check. They keep coming and coming. 8 cents the other day.
Get out, 8 cents?
8 cents, yeah. And the postage was 50, so I think it was a 58-cent check. And then they took the postage
It's like
out.
that Seinfeld episode where his hand's all crooked from the 15-cent checks. And you recently, actually, in addition to those incredible shows that you've been on, you've been to our Eliances Grand Table, interacted with our community. There was a line of people wanting to talk with you afterward. Tell me about your experience in being in the Eliances community.
It was one of the most, out of, I think, 1,500 shows I've done, I think this was the most one of the most amazing. Although I think it was the first time I've ever done a 1-minute set, to be honest. But that 1 minute was so helpful, and the people I met was amazing. I was sitting right next to Anson Williams, who was Potsy on Happy Days, and I had no idea I was going to be sitting next to him. It was just by chance. And then I also met Nick Lowry from, who was with the kicker with the Kansas City Chiefs, and both of these guys were super nice. And I never dreamed, when I was a kid watching these people on TV that I'd actually meet them. And so this event was incredible. Everyone was super nice, super helpful. Everybody wants to help, and they're so giving.
And it's an honor for us to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us for that. And
Thank you.
Of course. But Dan, let me ask you this question. If you had to do it all over again, would you have followed the same path knowing what you know now?
Definitely. The only thing I do regret is I didn't start this in, say, college, right? And do this a lot earlier. But other than that, no, I would have done the same exact thing. And, I've just had a fantastic ride with this and traveled the world, been to 28 countries. And, I've never said a swear word on stage ever, because I do only clean comedy, and just had magnificent time meeting, President Obama, Donald Trump, maybe 10 years ago when I performed for him, Hillary Clinton, and all these amazing, yourself,
Thank
David,
you.
these amazing people. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. Can you give me Eliances Where Entrepreneurs Align in a Trump voice?
Eliances Where Entrepreneurs Align, because I'm absolutely fantastic. I'm fantastic.
Thank you. That's awesome.
I'm still working on it.
Okay, but I think it's fabulous. It's huge.
Fantastic.
It's huge, right? So what advice, we've got just under a minute left, what advice do you have for those younger than you about how to be successful?
Well, I would say, it's a cliche, but follow your dream. There's a lot of people who will try to discourage you from doing something out of the box. And I think that I would say, a lot of people say they don't have time to pursue a creative in a creative pursuit because they're, say, working or whatever. I would say this: go to your regular job, make money, but then in the evenings, instead of watching TV like everyone else 30, 40 hours a week and binge watching, take that time and work on your poems or your jokes or your songs or your dance steps or your movies or whatever you want to do. And you can do that when everyone else is watching TV and on Friday and Saturday nights when everyone's partying. And then, it's just experience in doing it, and then you can become great.
Dan, you have charted your own course and found your passion to the delight of all your fans and us. We're so honored to have you with us. Dan Nainan, reach him at comediandan.com. That's comediandan.com. Dan.com.
Thank
And when
you.
we come back, thank you. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Dave Grimm about how to make your money work for you. There are your time freedom partners at directsourcewealth.com/hero, because you're listening to the Eliances Heroes radio show with me, Producer Glue, as your host.